Welcome into a live special edition Saturday commitment announcement watch along for four-star DB Jonte Gilbert. Folks, welcome into the DGD Podcast. I'm Robert Reynolds. Right beside me is Keon Kendrick. Keon, what is going on, my man?
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How y'all doing today?
I think I can't speak for everybody, but I'm doing well myself. Listen, guys, it's a loaded kind of announcement show. What we're going to do is preview this before the announcement. It's set to take place around 2 p.m. So we're going to talk a little bit, and then once the action gets started, we will let you see live. We'll watch along whether he goes to Georgia or NC State. Hell, who knows? Maybe even another team. We'll see, right? That's why we're here. With that being said, let's jump into it. Keon, what are your thoughts on Jonte as an athlete, as a recruit?
I think he's completely the guy that we need in our class. I think he's a great athlete. I'm excited to see what his development would be here. I think with our coaching staff, they'll be able to really get him to tap in and hit that next level on his journey. But I'm really excited for it. Hopefully we land him here within, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So, fingers crossed, man.
Absolutely. So On3 has him listed at 6'1", 6'1", 180. I think he'll probably play a little bit heavier than that at Georgia.
Say about 195.
Probably. We'll give it a shot. Generally speaking, I look at that as another prototypical measurable style guy out of Douglas County there in Atlanta area. What comes to me when you watch his tape, one of the first things, and it makes sense why if he does choose Georgia, it makes sense. Striking. I love his striking ability. Come in, physical, attack, not scared to tackle, things like that. And that is the staple for a Kirby Smart DB. If I say so, that's something that stuck out to me the most there. At the same time, I think his coverage ability is just fine too, right? Again, you don't get there. You don't get to be the 135th ranked player in the country for no reason, all right? Now, my question to you is this: based off of the tape, is that an accurate ranking, or do you think he's higher or lower? What do you think?
I mean, I think he should be a little bit higher than what he is. I mean, just watching his range from what he's been able to do so far at Douglas County, I think he's going to be really good for us. I'm sorry. I was reading the comments and I thought somebody hit the comment section, but it was you there. But I'm really excited for him, man. I'm really excited to see how this goes.
Yeah, we posted in the chat. Where will Jonte go? So let us know before he actually commits. Where do you think he ends up? Let's do this. We'll break down. I want to do this beforehand. Looking at NC State. I want to look at NC State because I think this is a sneaky team in this commitment, and it's definitely a team that you got to watch out for. NC State, based off of On3 rankings, they're 38th national. Obviously y'all remember Jarrell Boulder committed to NC State as well. That's a receiver that we were looking at pretty heavy. So there's a little bit of a battle here, right? Just another battle, if you will, between NC State and Georgia. Looking at their cornerback position, they got a guy, Caden Gordon, right, which is 3-star, and safety Tristan Teasdale, right? So you're looking at their DB haul so far for NC State, not necessarily the most talented, right? Not a lot of bodies there in this class specifically for NC State yet. So if he does go to NC State, I think that's immediately one of the staple pieces for that secondary class. I think he can make an immediate contribution there, right? And I get if you're wondering, this is a Georgia podcast where you talk about NC State. Listen, being from North Carolina, NC State is doing a damn good job at keeping kids in state. While he's a Georgia prospect, and they're focusing on North Carolina kids, and like I said, they're also going out into Georgia. They're going out into different states around, regionally, right? And they're picking kids out. We look at from a Georgia perspective, Crua, right? The UNC linebacker commit, kid's balling out in Georgia right now, and he's a UNC commit. So looking at these North Carolina schools, they're starting to expand a little bit and get into these kids, and it's something that maybe Georgia's not sweating because of the schools, but it's something to watch out for, right? Georgia tried to come in and grab Jarrell Boulder out of the Charlotte area. NC State gets his commitment. Right? Things like that. I'm not saying it's a recruiting battle on the levels of Georgia and Bama or Georgia and Auburn or Ohio State or none of that yet, but it's definitely something to monitor and keep an eye out for. I see Evan Grimes. Thank you for the super chat, $10 super chat. He says he's going to Georgia, and I would love to hear that myself. Dogs Rolling Loud says, is North Carolina recruiting him at CB as well? NC State, I think, will be doing that, yes. I know he can play some receiver, Keon, but I think you look at him as a DB at the next level, and I think both NC State and Georgia are doing that. Dogs Rolling Loud also says he'll pick the Dogs. But Keon, I want to ask you. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, I'm telling you, I feel like we're in a good place. We're in a good space for this recruitment.
Yeah, I think Georgia settled themselves into a really good place, honestly. If you're looking at the situation and if you're into crystal balls and RPMs, Georgia is favored here. 64% of the RPM is favoring Georgia. But at the same time, I don't always trust those things. I just don't. So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, here in a little, shortly, I would say. And then we'll go from there once everything's starting off. But Keon, I do want to bring this up to Georgia. All right. So if he chooses Georgia, part of me wonders if he just falls into being another guy, right? Because Georgia has a lot of DBs, but part of me also wants to be specific here. There's not a lot of corners, right? It feels like it's safety heavy as it stands right now. So I think you could see him, if he commits to Georgia, come in and really just kind of fit in as one of the corners, right? Because you have Todd Robinson. And I think outside of that, that would be him and Jonte Gilbert as your corners, right? Jalen and Rashad are both safeties prospects. So I think that would – so partially, I think if he commits to Georgia, I think that rounds out the entirety of the DB class for 25. Would you agree, or do you have any other comments on that?
Well, I definitely agree. I do think that so far that we've been we kind of did our best to lock up the guys in the class that we really saw playing in that DB room, and I feel like he's just the final piece. I think after that, you might see Georgia move more offensively, more than anything else. But as of now, I got to say, I feel like he's going to be the last piece to the DB class. Then you're going to see us focus on the front seven, and then, probably the D line of the front seven, who knows? And then from there, we'll probably go to more of the offensive side of the ball, try to probably add another wide receiver. But right here, right now, yeah, I'd like to say that he's probably going to be the last one of the DB class.
I agree with you on that. I think rounding that out will be a huge deal. We know we're looking at the current state of the team, right? And you're sitting there thinking to yourself, "Oh, this DB class, like the room is loaded." But at the same time, if you're not familiar with just how fast things change in the world of college football and recruiting, you can be depleted immediately if you're not careful, right? So if getting Jonte in this class, I think is going to definitely help. I'm not going to call it as much as a depth piece. I think there's some things that obviously you got to go through the process and understand the system, stuff like that. Somewhat of a normal transition, but I'm also not going to say he's going to be a standout on the sense of like Ellis Robinson. I think Ellis Robinson is just special, if you will. I'm not saying that Jonte is not special. I'm just saying that there's a process for most corners, right? You just don't come out here unless you're like an avatar and just play right away or get reps like that right away. So that's something to monitor. I think I've heard people mentioning that he could be somewhat of a project. And I just don't know how much to believe in that statement. I mean, what are your thoughts? Well, I mean, what are your thoughts on if he were to come to Georgia specifically? If he comes, what do you think the process would be for him?
I think the process would be for him to come in, get acclimated, of course, learn the playbook, and then from there, really begin to study his position in our scheme. And then, walking through, doing different practices. Of course, he's going to get his reps probably first on special teams, and then from there, of course, with his knowledge as it continues to grow, along with his size, athleticism, and the overall instincts for our system, then you'll start to see him more acclimated. So what I'm saying to you is it's going to be a process. And I do also want to take the time, just like any other process, you got to grind things out in order for you to get to where you want to be. What does that mean? Sometimes you have to start out your base plan of where you want to be when it comes to the football team and where you want to be as far as potential looking forward. If you wanted to be a first round pick, second round pick, what does it take for you to get there? What are the things that you'll have to do? How will you have to train? How will you have to, put effort into your body and all of those other things, which of course, I don't doubt that Georgia sits down and has those conversations with guys when it comes to them recruiting them. I think those are conversations that are had probably regularly as far as, okay, this is where, you are. These are the things that you're great at. These are the things you might need improvement. And if you actually come here, you get in the system, you get in the scheme, and you put forth the effort, you can end up being here, right? So it's all a process, and really just understanding where you may fit within the process and within the scheme.
Yeah, I think on the other hand, we talk about the process here, but if he were to say choose NC State, I think he would kind of be somewhat like, if we're trying to somewhat compare situations, kind of that Ellis Robinson, where like you're good enough to be there, but you might not be the starter, but you might even rotate in heavily year one, right? I think it's just the different levels of the programs in play here. I think that'd be a staple for them in this class, right? Like I said, they are like 38th right now, and getting a kid like Jonte Gilbert would be massive for them. You look at the jumping up in the rankings, if if that were to happen, right? That would easily catapult him up. I would say probably into the 20s at some point. You would have to assume that.
I mean, I would assume that it would help push. If he did decide to go that way with NC State, I do believe that it would end up putting him in the situation to where he would be able to get on the field early. He would be able to get those reps early. And honestly, I can understand it being that situation as well. I mean, I'm not going to take that all the way off the table because it is definitely something that can possibly happen here. I just think I like where Georgia sits. But overall, it's not like that isn't a possibility. Because I think for him could be early playing time. There's a lot of recruits that have that mindset. So I don't want anybody who's listening to this to take things as, oh, we don't think he's going to come
ultimately,
here.
I think.
America runs also on Dunkin'. Dunkin' Donuts sponsor the DGD podcast because we love you. Caramel iced coffee, shot of espresso. I'm an American.
The funny thing is you're having Dunkin', man. I had Jittery Joe's this morning. I'm just gonna let it be known. Do that right there, and had the Pete the Cat blend. Shit was good. It was good. Oh, it was so good.
Does it say good meowing on the can there?
No, it does not. It just has Pete the Cat drinking a cup of coffee. I'm not mad about it at all. Not mad at all. So, no, it's really good stuff. I'm not going to lie. Dog alerts, add us on the graphic or something. Thank you, sir. That works. Evan Grimes says, we'll see what the hat. God damn it, Trey. Jesus Christ. Get on to him, please. Get on to him.
He's going crazy.
No, 100%. 100%. So I see, Evan Grimes was talking about the hat science. Yeah, I think that's something definitely to watch out for sure. Uh, do you believe in the hat science or no?
So I might be all the way out of the loop on this one. So I didn't know that hats had science.
You didn't know there was hat science? You never
Mm-mm.
knew about that?
I never
Really?
knew. I never knew.
People,
Never knew
man,
nor known.
So I need somebody in the chat to just type this out while I'm talking to this, okay? Basically, Keon, hat science, they look at hats and see like, oh, it's in the middle. It might be it, or it's on the right hand. He's right-handed. It might be easy to grab and put it on. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of a long story short of hat science.
Do you believe in hat science?
I don't know about that. We'll see.
I feel like in some way, shape, or form, asking like if you believe in hat science is almost like, do you believe in aliens? Like, yeah, part of you might say yeah, but you don't want to say yeah in like front of like people almost.
Oh, I mean, I don't have a shame in saying it. I think it's fun to think about. Part of me also doesn't really believe in it. I just don't. But I can. It's something I would understand if people did believe that it's a true thing. I just think nowadays you got to remember, man. Kids will pull a hat on, put it on, and then they'll fake you out and throw it like Quay Walker. You know. So you can't always take it serious. But
shout out to Quay.
Yeah, no doubt.
Also, shout out to aliens. You know, I do believe in aliens. So there's that.
I believe in Joe Hendry, but here we are.
And I believe in Messi.
Ronaldo was better.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
How is all right? We got to do this while we wait. How is Messi? Now, I'm not arguing because both of them are goats, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
In the GOAT conversation.
Absolutely.
But I need to know why you think Messi's better than Ronaldo.
All right. So the best way how I explain it, right, is Cristiano Ronaldo is the best football player in the world. Messi is an alien. That's it. I believe in Messi, therefore I believe in aliens. So I speak it, therefore it is true.
This is about I feel dumber listening to this response. You get 0 points. And God,
you're not about to Billy Madison me. You're not about to Billy. It was like thanks.
No, absolutely did.
Thanks to your explanation, we are all now dumber. I was like, shit, that's crazy.
I'm gonna get to my response, but Evan basically gives it this way. Basically, Keon, hat science. They look at the hats. It's in the middle. Might be easy to grab. Also, wear and tear on the hat. Is there a slight bend in the curve? Stickers removed. Things like all those little things add into the hat science. But I'm going to do this. Ronaldo's the best when you have that level of finishing ability, but also if you've watched his dribbling and actually passing, especially now, his passing has gotten a lot better too.
Okay.
I just think he's a better finisher. And to be fair, he did it on his there were times where he would finish because of his dribbling and do it on his own. Messi could set up a fucking perfect pass to a through ball or cross or header, but Ronaldo was the one always headed it in. So
yeah, he's like,
And also, who has the most iconic free kick ever?
So I would give that to Cristiano Ronaldo. I will say this: if you're gonna go off of passing, I also consider corner kicks because those are very important goal kicks. I'm leaning towards Messi in that situation. Yet again, man, I just think that Messi being able to perform at the level that he's been at this point in time in his age, I think that is a bigger situation, a better situation versus Cristiano Ronaldo because he still has a gap to go. Messi is out. Like Messi's old. Like it's like if he wasn't that's the thing. If Messi was anybody else but himself, we would be looking at him like, hey man.
I don't know. So Nick with the facts is asking when he's committing. The the time was around 2:00. He had mentioned 2:00. He made a post on social media, so I would assume it's here very soon. And we'll try to keep you posted on that when things start to go, things start to happen. We're going to try to get you up on that. But in the meantime, we're sitting here, we're having fun. There's a ton of people watching and listening. Make sure whether you're on Twitter, whether you're on YouTube, make sure to follow us, subscribe, right? Make sure to do that because it helps the algo get this thing out even better. But with that being said, Keon, Ronaldo's the best out of Ronaldo, Messi. I'm sorry, it just is. Cannot help you there.
No, not at all. Not at all. That is not a factual statement.
You're probably also the person that would sit there and take Dunkin' Donuts over Krispy Kreme, and I can't hear that.
So I will say this. Dunkin' Donuts coffee? For sure. Hands down. I'm taking Dunkin' Donuts coffee over Starbucks any day of the week. The actual donuts themselves, Krispy Kreme reigns supreme.
Krispy Kreme is the GOAT of donuts.
Yeah.
I mean, am I partially biased because I'm like 30 minutes away from headquarters? No. They're just better. They're just better. They're just better. They really are, especially when that light's on.
Yeah.
Hubba. Make sure if you leave a comment, guys, we will read the comments while we're waiting. If there's any questions you have, anything you want to talk about in the meantime, before things go live and everything, drop a comment, let us know, and we will discuss that to keep everybody happy and giddy while we wait. Just make sure
you want to talk about Brennan's favorite player, Chaz Chambliss?
We can do that. What do you want to talk about with Chaz?
So what do you think are his? What do you think that we're going to get out of Chaz Chambliss this year? Like,
what do you think I'm going to get, as in like production wise, or are you talking about
absolutely as far as his production, his play within the scheme? Like, do you think that he's going to step into more of a leadership role? Like, what are your overall thoughts on Chaz this upcoming season?
I think you see him actually do well in passing situations. I always get hesitant with him in running situations because of his height and measurables there. But I just think that he can, like, if he gets his pass rush plan down, he's actually not bad when it comes to that. All right. A lot of people give him grief, felt like people just running past him on the edge and stuff. And while that is a problem, if you've watched him in the passing game, like when it's coming from a pass rush situation, he can actually get after it.
Mm-hmm.
And while, like I said, I also think you're going to be looking at guys, like depending on the situation, you'll have guys like Jalen Walker getting on the field. Mike Hill could side out to a jack, right? Different packages, things like that. But nonetheless, I'm just kind of under the belief that he'll play. He's going to play. There's no question about it. It's just a matter of maybe how much and, from there, what the production looks like. But, I mean, give me a guy like Quintavious Johnson. I think that's a name that people probably forgot about, and they're making name for himself so far in fall camp. And then you've got like Damon Wilson, and right, everybody knows Damon and Sam and Pimba, Gabe Harris, those three. So there's a lot of guys behind him, and I think he'll start. But I think you see overall snap reduction, but I think when he's on the field, he's going to make the most of it. That's just what do you think?
I definitely think that, I'd like to see him take that next step in his pass rush abilities this year. Run stopping, I got to tell you, I love his complete disregard for safety in run stopping. Because, man, you just need somebody who's going to lay it all out on the line. And I think when you're talking about on running downs, when you look at Chaz Chambliss, he is for sure going to do that. He is definitely going to lead with his pads and punch through something. So, I think he's great on that end. But I do want to see him take that next step when it comes to getting his pass rush package down And, I'm really excited for the defensive line because truthfully, I think we're going to be improved. I don't think that there's necessarily a set parameter for what our
Damn
defensive
it,
line
Trey.
can be.
Damn it, Trey.
Yeah, see, Trey keep going crazy. But I don't think there's necessarily a set parameter for what our defensive line can be. I will tell you this: I feel like if our defensive line does take that step, then we're going to be in a great spot moving forward. But that's just one thing that I look at is the defensive line as a whole.
Yeah.
How big of a step that they take this year is really going to determine how things could potentially go. Even though, if I'm going to be all the way honest, I think this is going to be a year where our offense leads the charge for us.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think the offense is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting this year, to be all the way honest. As most of us probably feel here, it's natty season. We know that. We feel that. But I think this year you're going to see the Bulldogs put it all together.
I'm sitting here thinking about this too, and I just want to see everything gel together and go smooth. Now, I do want to bring this back up since this is the announcement of his commitment. Jonte, he was previously an Ohio State commit, but he decommitted. Part of me wonders why, and I'm sure there's probably a reason, but I honestly think playing closer to home may have had a part into that, which kind of ties out if you're looking at NC State and Georgia. I think Georgia Tech was slightly in the mix as well, maybe South Carolina at one point, but I think it's turned down to more of two teams with NC State and Georgia. I was sitting there thinking about that, and part of me was like, what was the reasoning? Because you always get these kids that'll decommit. Just like, the fan base will be like, oh, we didn't want him. He wasn't a tick, but he was committed. Like, was it, so it was just whatever. As we got to go Jackets in here. Oh boy. Nah, welcome in. Just got to have fun with that. But yeah, I think obviously it feels like a 2-team race. Do you think there could be a chance of a team maybe like a Georgia Tech or maybe even South Carolina finding their way to sneak a landing in there? I mean, if you're looking at a Georgia perspective, we saw CJ Wiley go to Florida State when we thought Florida State was completely out of it. Is there a possibility he goes to somewhere like a Georgia Tech or South Carolina?
I mean, I think that anything is possible in that sense. Do I think it's likely? Not necessarily for this. I think that CJ Wiley thing is something that we need to really closely monitor to see how things go. Because I'm not necessarily sure that sticks. If y'all have Dogs HQ, y'all know what's going on, but it's definitely something for y'all to take a look at. What do y'all think about Tate workouts?
Are you talking about Tate at center specifically, or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think that might be in regards to Tate at center. I mean, I like it, honestly. Him and Carson, Tate and Carson have been roommates for years. They're really best friends, to be for real. So, I mean, I could see it being a situation where it works out for us in the best way possible. Don't necessarily think it's going to hurt us, to be all the way honest. Plus, that helps him because at the next level, he might be in a situation where he might have to play center. Who knows? But overall, I think it'll be good for us. I think it'll work out for us, and it's probably going to be a good look.
Well,
Plus, I trust our offense. I trust Big Stacy. So at the end of the day, it's not like we have to really question anything on that.
Yeah, end. I think another thing. Yeah, okay. So he was talking about taking reps at center. First off, I think the likely starter is still Jared Wilson. And if you're banged up at this point, considering, I think you're looking at a multi-pronged approach here, right? No need to try to play through it and get hurt even worse. At the same time, you need depth at the center position anyway. So put somebody there, whether it be Tate or Drew Bobo. Tate's also been playing so much. He sees the call. He sees the defense. He knows what he's seeing. Now, at the same time, there is a difference where you've got to make the calls. But at the same time, what better way to build depth and give Tate practice at making those calls than by putting him at center and letting him run with the ones at center while you let Jared rest back up and do what he's got to do. So it works out because, like I said, you're building that depth, but you're also not even just putting Tate in there. You're also letting Micah Morris come in and possibly do the right guard situation. And honestly, it's a matter of finding the best 5 as well. Not saying that Jared Wilson's not one of the best 5. I'm just saying if he's out or if he goes down, you have to be ready for that. Center position is the most important piece on that offensive line, and it's hard to find traditional quality depth at the center position. Most kids play tackle or most play guard in high school. So at the next level, you don't really see a lot of people specifically train or playing center, I should say, that were a center previously, right? So we got fortunate to have Cedric Van Pran, but now you got Jared Wilson that's done the same thing, but he didn't do the center in high school. He was able to play tackle and guard and stuff like that. So yeah, it's just one of those things where you just got to build depth while putting the best 5 on the field. Let's see. Evan Grimes said someone picked off Beck in the scrimmage today at a crucial position. Interesting. Speaking of, we're waiting for the scrimmage. The scrimmage is going on, I guess, right now, or I think. So I'm sure there'll be more talking points there later as things end up and everything like that too. Let's see. Bruce, welcome in. Bruce says, we have to have the best offensive line and defensive line to win. DBs always look good when the D-line is mauling. Not necessarily wrong there. Running backs always look good when the offensive line is mauling. Best 5 always. Couldn't agree more with that, Bruce. Could not agree more. We've won 2 national titles based off of trench play.
Big facts. Big facts.
It helps everything. It helps everything flow smoother when you have good trench play. You can wreak havoc on opposing quarterbacks. You can will your way to a victory to finish games out. You don't need to take a knee, Mario Cristobal. Just letting me know. Amari Wilcher, welcome in, says the defensive line is concerning. There's some guys like Tyrion Ingram, Dawkins, Jordan Hall he believes in, but there's no game records in my opinion. Love the edge guys like Wilson, Michael, Gabe Harris. I'm going to interject, and I think compared to last year, I think you've seen a lot more quality depth. At the same time, people are, I'd say generally speaking, more healthy as well. Yes, Jordan Hall probably going to be out. I think word has it he might be out like 6 weeks or something, so he'll miss. Sounds like he might miss the first few games. But just to monitor there. But at the same time, Tyrion Ingram, Dawkins, that's one you've got to stay healthy with. You're not wrong. I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to keep my bias out of this. Jamal Jarrett has the potential right now to be a difference maker. I think if his motor gets better, and I think the sky's the limit for him. He's had a good string of practices this fall camp, and that's huge, especially at defensive line, because I feel like with defensive line, you have to have the momentum, right? It's all about who's the most disruptive, who's winning their one-on-ones. If you're doing that consistently, you're going to play. And honestly, with Jamal, he's such a crucial piece to the defensive line because what he's going to do, eating up space and things like that, it can't go unnoticed. It just cannot do that. But it's also another name, if you're not paying attention, Xavier McLeod. I think he's primed to have a good season too. And I know you got Brinson and Stackhouse. Agreed. But McLeod, Jamal, right? And then also Kristen Miller. Don't forget about Percy. Can't forget about Percy.
I think he's going to take us another step here with us this year, bro, to be all the way honest. I think, you've been hearing a lot of him taking the training more serious, being more mature, even in that stance as well. I think we're going to see another big step out of him this year.
Yeah, I think so too. It sounds like just our guy, Jeff Sintel. He's there at the commitment ceremony personally. Seems like things are set up, but Jonte's not there yet. So just giving y'all an update on where things are, and we're going to try once things go live. Again, we're going to do our best to get that coverage on here for you. Right now, we're just kind of just talking the dog, if you will, while things are getting situated there in Douglas County. Amari says, I thought Christian should have played more, no offense, but I wasn't a big fan of Zion Logue, and Stackhouse was disappointing. I think partially, Keon, a lack of health and depth caused that feeling of being
Yes.
disappointed. And what I mean by that was, Amari, the fact that Jamal was hurt, the fact that you had guys banged up and hurt, you didn't have the bodies to rotate. Georgia's defensive line is predicated on rotation to keep guys fresh. When you don't have that situation available, it puts pressure on the starters, things like that, like Zion and Stackhouse and Warren Brinson, to play more and get gas because of the lack of rotation. So we did. Now, it was disappointing. It was 100% disappointing to watch guys get pushed around and bodied like that. But if you look at it, what happens when you don't rotate third quarter, fourth quarter, you're getting pushed around, right? And it's because of the lack of rotation to keep guys fresh. And that's why I think this year it has to be different with the quality depth. Staying healthy is a big deal. But if you have those two capable right there, or those two factors, that's going to make that disappointing feeling go away substantially less anyways.
Yeah, I think so too. I think, the fact that these guys got a lot of burn last year, I think that's going to help them in a sense when it comes to being out there this year, especially since we've added more depth to that position, of course. So, of course, you'll be able to keep guys more, give the big guys more time to rest. Let me say that, just like you were stating earlier. It all depends on how everything goes. From what I've been seeing, Stackhouse looks pretty good this year, like coming out of camp. Like he looks pretty
Yeah,
good.
I think so. I think so too. I mean, I think we're just kind of waiting and seeing at this point. We've heard a lot of good things, right? But I think hearsay and seeing for yourself are way different, right? So I think come August 31st, when toe meets the leather in the bins, like Georgia, Clemson, we're about to find out. We're about to find out because you can't hide lies anymore once the games are played on the field. Just can't.
But Bruce, I see your question here, uh, pretty much saying I hope Beck lives up to the hype. If he's better than last year, I don't see how we're not there. What did you say? I don't see how we're not there to battle for the Heisman, or I believe that might be the Heisman. It's just a bunch of trophies there, but nevertheless, I think I think Carson is going to take that next step. I think he's going to solidify himself this year as the number one quarterback. Not saying that we're going to go out there and win the Heisman, which if we do, we're for sure winning the Natty. I do believe that this is going to be a season where our offense is going to actually do a lot of, if not all of, the heavy lifting by going out there and scoring a lot. I think this is going to be another season of where we average over 40 points again. I'd like to say this would be the third straight year in a row that we average over 40. So, I mean, we've been a top 5 offense in every category that you want to really look at. But at the end of the day, I do think that this is going to be a year where you see Carson Beck step up. We got a lot of wide receivers that are finna go to the draft. Plus, when you look at what we've added to this team from a Trevor Etienne, a Ben Urasek, a Colby Young, and a London Humphrey, which I think London will get more of his burn next year, not necessarily this year. But with all of that said, what we have added to this offense, I think it's only going to help Carson. Carson has already went out there and showed. I mean, he's already showed it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if we're just going off of the stats that he put up this year, Carson Beck is like top 5 most accurate quarterback in Georgia history right now. So I think it's a very interesting conversation when you look at what we've been able to accomplish with Carson so far, what he's been able to do. And then you also got to keep in mind that our head coach and our OC have both came out and said out of their own mouths that, I mean, they held Carson back last year. So, I think if they go out there, they truly trust him and just run with it. I think everything is really going to fall into place for us offensively. The defense just has to take that next step forward. I think we'll be in that natty conversation.
Absolutely. So it looks like so we're looking in, tuning in a little bit here. It looks like maybe a coach is speaking right now. What we're going to do is when we see Jonte, I guess, start to talk, we'll tune over, or excuse me, we'll turn in over to that and go from there. But I just wanted to give you an update on where we are with his commitment. And then from there, I think, once we see Jonte, we will literally we'll shut up and let him take the floor, hypothetically. So I see some other questions. Haven't heard much about Aguero at the Star, his to lose. I think hearing less about him right now is actually a good thing, because that means there's not a lot of questions out of that. And I think we might have our response here. We'll tune in just for a second, see what happens. So hopefully everybody can hear. If not, please let us know in the chat. Try to work on that. Let's see how things are going. If you can't hear it, let me know. We'll try to fix some audio difficulties here. Looks like Georgia Tech, NC State. Key on the hat science, buddy. What do you see? So we're going to let you try to practice this since you're not familiar with hat science. What do you see?
I think the white UGA hat might be giving us more stuff from that.
Why do you think that? I need to hear why. Listen, I'm going to do this. Yeah, as Evan says, UGA sticker still in the hat. NC State got some wear. Okay, so y'all can hear the audio. We'll kind of commentate over it. Once it looks like he starts talking, we will be quiet and let him take the floor. I see the white. I see the white hat being the white T-shirt. I think that's a sign too, but we'll see. Right? This is just hat science. All right. So as we see here, it looks like maybe head coach, parents sitting there getting ready. I do want to take a question in the meantime. I noticed one earlier. Tanil said she still doesn't know who was fighting at practice. Partially thinks she is talking about Jamal Jarrett. Big Jaw got into a scuffle with the offensive line. It also looks like we are still getting ready for him getting situated, it seems. So we'll just kind of be quiet and let you hear what's going on there for a minute. Like Keon, it does sound like they're just getting situated. I don't see him speaking or anything like that. I'm assuming the camera will shift and put it closer to him. Aaron Field says you love to see the Georgia Tech shirt. Must be his. Got to be. Yeah, must be. Oh man, it is interesting, Keon. You got Georgia Tech there. You got Georgia, NC State. Surprising you don't see any more, but at the same time, it looks like he's got his final three. Make sure in the comments before he actually is set, where will he go? Let us know in the comments below. Do you think Georgia? Do you think Georgia Tech? Do you think NC State? Let us know in the comments below. All right, Keon, we're going to be quiet. I think we're going to let him talk and take over.
All righty. You can turn the audio back on for it.
Oh, it should be on. It's kind of quiet. It is kind of quiet. So hopefully things will change. But let us know in the comments below if the audio sounds good to everybody or not. I know we have it turned up as loud as it can. It sounds like it's kind of quiet from a distance, maybe. That's just my thoughts on it, Keon. we'll let the comments. Well, yeah, I've got it tuned up all the way. So we'll see what happens here. I know we got a bunch of people. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, whether it be Twitter or YouTube. Make sure to do that. Ring the bell if you're on YouTube. Get notified of other shows when we do our shows as well. Obviously, the season's fastly approaching. Don't miss out on our shows. Okay, so yeah, apparently 11 Alive doesn't have the audio on just yet. So we'll see what happens there. I think we'll be able to hear that once it does.
Oh, okay.
In the meantime, while we wait, I do think it's very interesting. We'll just keep this. We'll keep this up and running like that. Ooh, sorry about that, gentlemen. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. So we got 400 people in there. Make sure to like and follow, guys. That's really going to help us do our thing here. I want to keep giving y'all content like this. Let us know you're paying attention, man. Let us know you're liking it. Don't give us a reason to do more of this. Just giving y'all a heads up there. Still looks like
also take the time to follow us on social media. I am Podcast Poppy, one word, 2 eyes on here as well.
I also want to bring it up. If you like this kind of conversation, following us on Twitter is a huge deal. We have what we do called Twitter Spaces on the platform. Folks, that is where you can talk to us in real time and speak to us rather than just typing. Listen, it's fun to do. We do them a lot. Keon or myself will do that. So Wesley says, is that a mild concussion that Wilson has? That good question, buddy. I don't know yet. Finch General, Keon and I follow each other on X, followed the rest of you guys. Thank you, sir, for following.
Appreciate you, man. Oh, I know who this is. Yeah. What's up, my boy? It took me a second.
I guess while we wait to hear what's going on, I guess we'll keep this up in a little bit. Excuse me. We should be able to hear it. So once we hear audio, we will shut up. But it doesn't appear.
You said come and talk to Brennan Fong. Oh, my God.
These are the facts. These are the facts. I'm not going to drop a space nug in here, but I did know that when you have Batiste in your top 20, I can't take you serious, but I digress.
You never know it.
I digress. Let's see here. So also, by the way, take time to follow our friends, sponsors at Alumni Hall. Also, go onto our Twitter. Pinned tweet or pinned post is our game day giveaway.
Yep.
Make sure to enter for a chance to win $100 Alumni Hall gift card.
That is because if not, I'm going to enter and then I'm going to win it.
And then we can't let this man do that.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
It's diabolical.
Amiri, I see what you got up here. Add 7 more points to Georgia's score, and I'm with you.
Ooh, got 42-13, Keon. Damn.
Oh, yeah.
Good Lord. Clemson fans ain't going to want to hear that too much.
No, sir.
Good Lord. 40. All right, so Finch General's got it 42-17. Not mad about that. Let's see. Yeah. I'm going to keep my score because, well, I just want to keep it in the vest. I think it could be a lot to a little, though. And we'll talk more about that as the season gets closer, as the game gets closer. For sure, you'll know how that's going to shake out. Just going to let that be known. It's kind of still no audio as it sounds right now. I don't think anyone's hearing anything. Sounds like they're just talking. I know it said it was 2:00. But either way, at least they're in the building. I guess that's going to be a plus, if you will. Just don't see how. All right, so Amari says, I just don't see how Clemson scores much. They have some young receivers, but I don't see them popping off too much first career game. And I'm not a fan of Klubnik. Yeah, you're not wrong. I think it's offensive line you got to watch out for too. Went to the practice last Sunday. Our defense got some work to do. Of course, but at the same time, keep in mind, Vince, that some of these are scripted, right? So, excuse me. Once you get into the season, there's not a lot of scripting there unless it's your scripted offense. But you're not going against your offense, and your offense is not going against your defense. So, there's designed winners, designed losers, I think, arguably in those camps to get better at reps and see different things. But I'm with you. I think they'll always have something to do. Kirby's going to make sure that there's always something there. Tanil asks, who's going to the bins? She will be there. If you're going to the bins for the game, let Tanil know in the chat. It looks like he's scrolling on his phone. So I think they're zooming in, Keon. So this tells me that they're getting ready to do it here soon, I would assume.
Yeah, I'm starting to get that vibe as well.
Let's commentate this cameraman. Good Astro Pride. Good. I like the good little pan over there. That was a good pan.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we trying to hide this? Got the S there. Look at that. Look at that S. Ooh. I see red and black though. I know that's Douglas County, but at the same time,
Trying to keep it in the shot. Keep the suspicion coming.
Doom doom. Yeah, basically. Kirby called the run defense soft as butter, then followed up with the soft as melted butter. Also heard Elmo, tickle me Elmo soft as well. Classic Kirby. Classic Kirby. Is Jonte a corner or safety? I project him, Guy, to be a corner at the next level. Yep. I think Georgia projects him to be a cornerback as well. Considering the fact, considering you've got Rashad and Jalen in this class already, to me that just makes sense that he rounds out the cornerback class with Todd Robinson. Yeah, his dogs just confirms corner there. All right, it looks like we're getting people situated, so that tells me that things are about to start, I would assume. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe. At the same time, once we hear audio, we will shut the fuck up. Okay, we will shut up just for you.
100% shutting the fuck up.
Also, if there are kids present, my apologies. My apologies. Or
no, I meant that.
Oh, you meant that? Okay, you're standing on business. Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Sounds like a plan there. I can't be mad about that. Somebody's got to backtrack in the name of the brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doing it for the brand.
One of us.
I'll take the L today.
Good back.
Right, looks like it got his family. Yeah, I know, right? Looks like his family's situated right there. Got a good family size of it. Good size family right there.
Mm-hmm.
Any science, last minute science y'all see? Let us know. None of the parents are wearing anything too giving, if you will. White T-shirt. We'll see what happens there. I wonder if he's going live on IG. Just handed his phone over. Where is Snoop Dogg? I wish I had $500,000 to let him commentate this commitment, but he's over in France right now doing his thing, if you will. Just going to leave that there.
For shizzle.
On the set.
For shizzle.
All right, Tiger Woods. For shizzle.
For sure.
Oh, no.
Big dog.
What's that?
Tiger Woods meme comes in for the day.
Oh, yeah.
He's like,
goodbye, fried rice. Hello, fried chicken.
Right.
Sorry. Chappelle Show told me that. Okay. Chappelle Show told me that. All right, we're waiting for audio of 11 Alive if they have it. If not, I guess we'll commentate for you. We definitely don't want to leave any awkward silence.
That's definitely a fact.
That is literally what you have to worry about. Awkward silence.
You have the whole family posted up there, you know. You got people just walking around. You could tell that they're not necessarily ready yet because you still got people walking around, looking around like, oh shit, this is the gym. Okay.
Let's see. Guy says, how are we feeling about Griffin and Terry at defensive line?
Perfect.
Keon can say perfect. He can speak for himself. I'm going to let you know that I feel confident. I'm not going to say perfect because nothing is perfect in this world. The camera guy letting us know he's going to Georgia by showing us the S. I guess he was talking about the balloons. I don't know about that. Maybe. See, this is part of the science, Keon. This is the fun stuff.
Oh yeah, no. This is definitely. This is up there with like, This is almost like plane tracking, you know, when coaches.
Keon, I'm not bashing it, but I was not expecting a Central Time commitment. I was expecting
I'm trying to tell you. I had a feeling that this was going to be a Central Time commitment.
Keon, it's right up your alley.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy, that's funny. Still no audio. Okay, still no audio. We're kind of just shout out Dr. Pepper. I feel like Forrest Gump sometimes straight.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Alex with NBC 11 Alive, Team 11, born to compete, and we are here at Frederick Douglass High School in Atlanta, Georgia, for Jonte Gilbert's big day, his commitment day. Make some noise, guys.
Let's be real. On what world did anyone choose Georgia Tech, NC State over Georgia? Never know.
I always usually do this thing and I talk about how good a player is, but with this right here, it's self-explanatory. You want a guy that can play anywhere in the secondary, he can get it done. You want to play corner, easy, light work. You want him to come down in the box, he might knock somebody out the game, so you better take care of your player. Again, you were talking about not only a good player on the field, but off the field, we can literally call him the franchise because he can be the face of your program because he is so well spoken, so articulate, and such a leader as a young man. So, Jonte, you got all these people here looking for you to commit. How does it feel to look up here and see this crowd?
It feels great, seeing that my teachers, friends, teammates, and coaches here, great support system, which I really love. It's good.
It's a great support system here with some families, some loved ones. These schools, these are all big-time schools, and these schools want you to be a part of their program. Y'all hear his deep-ass voice? How does it feel to be recruited by schools like this?
It feels great, getting an opportunity, seeing different schools, meeting different head coaches, places I never thought I'd go to, so it was really good to experience that.
This man's voice is correct.
Vince says their audio is atrocious.
Saturday. People are viewing in, and now it's on you. So it's your big time. Everybody, let's make some noise. Jonte,
Fake out, Keon, the fake out.
go wide. Wait a second. That hat is tough. That hat is tough.
Jonte, man, I tell you what, we have just set the internet on fire. University of Georgia, we know Coach
That is Jonte Gilbert.
This May, I went to camp, I did very good,
Kirby Smart,
I feel like
drop
I'm
that
performed well, even though maybe it's hot for me ever since, so, it was good, Coach Smart said that as well, it was good.
Educated on paraphrasing it felt like plain and simple. No paraphrasing. All right, Jonte, go ahead and stand on up for us real quick as we go ahead and take it to the commercial here.
I'm in Puerto
Jonte, there's only one thing left to say. I think you know what to say. Is it go dogs?
What is it?
Go dogs.
That is your newest.
All right, do it one more time. Jonte Gilbert, committed to the University of Georgia.
Thinking that was NC State for a second. I literally thought it was NC State because it wasn't like the regular G until upon further review, I see the G. So let's.
No, I thought it was Georgia. I had to blow it up. So you know how you can blow up the screen to see it differently?
Yeah. See, I can't do that. I can't do that right now. So yeah, just letting you know I couldn't do that. It'd been nice, but absolutely. Tanil says he pulled a Luther Burden. So give us a go dogs. Give us a go dogs in the chat. I want you to type it out. Type this out for now. Give us a go dogs in the chat for the newest commit, Jonte Gilbert, 2025 DB from Douglas County. Keon, we're gonna wrap this thing up, buddy, and then we might host an emergency stream. We might just do that. Now, with that being said, Keon, let everybody, if you're listening, if you're watching, make sure we're about to host up a space. Keon, would you do the honors? Pop up the space. We're going to wrap this thing up. Make sure, last thing, make sure if you have not already, we've got over 550 people watching on both platforms. Like this, follow us, like, rate, subscribe, review, all that stuff.
Podcast Poppy. One word. Two eyes. That's it. Yes, sir.
Guys, that is all we've got for this special edition, the Jonte Gilbert commitment announcement. The Dogs get another DB in the 2025 class. Again, make sure to like, follow, subscribe. We will be over on Twitter. You will look for us. We will have a space open. With that being said, Keon, I want you to have a great day. Everybody, have a damn good day. That is all we've got for this episode. Come back next time. Go Dogs.